Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 617 of the DrunkNerds podcast. As always, I'm Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good. Kind of tired. Got some yard work done out of the way, but at the same time, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Weekend was pretty successful.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I'm doing all right, clanging and banging as always. Kind of weird. We're already it's a weird time about, a few days ago, Summer Game Fest. Not as many major conferences or major things going on.
No.
There's a decent amount of stuff happening throughout the week though. Like Xbox is doing like game previews the rest of the
Mm.
week. We got Dragon Age tomorrow. There's gonna be like a big Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater thing tomorrow, or I guess today when this comes out on Tuesday. Same with Dragon Age, and then there's more stuff throughout later. Life is Strange is having a thing on Thursday as well. So a lot of cool content,
Wow.
a lot of cool stuff happening throughout the week, but not like we're not getting like 5, 6 major press conferences throughout the weekend, which I miss, but maybe for like life balance thing, it's maybe a good thing because the Xbox thing took up like my entire day yesterday or the entire afternoon yesterday, and uh, luckily the Ubisoft one did not. But yeah, no, I'm doing all right. I'm on. It's Monday as of recording this. I am on vacation, so I'm definitely enjoying that part. It's been nice. Just been playing a bunch of Paper Mario today, which has just been lovely. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I've been definitely enjoying doing all that, and I've got like a plethora of like indie games I need to get to after I beat. I got like a pile of shame list I have, and there's like a half dozen like indie games on there that I need to play. So I am well behind, and I'm probably gonna have to like when I get back to work start asking for some overtime because there's a bunch of games that all of a sudden I did not know I was gonna be buying this fall that now I will be buying this fall. So yeah, but other I'm doing all right. But before we get into it, this episode, we're just covering is all about the Ubisoft Forward. We're just covering everything with that. Before we get on all that, I do want to remind everybody this is the DrunkNerds podcast. Every week, this week it's a lot more than normal, but every Saturday night, Gables and I get together, record the podcast. It goes up Sunday morning. We talk about video games, everything we love, hate about them. We're just two guys. We do this for fun. We've been doing this for over 11
Yes.
years, and we just do it because we enjoy doing it. We don't make money off this. We paid a lot of money to do this podcast. So if you can, maybe go give us a little, little subscribe over there, click a bell, leave a thumbs up, go to the podcast services, just click around, download some stuff, 5-star reviews, shares, all that fun stuff. We're on Facebook and Twitter as well. There are links in the show notes. If you can just go there, support us there. We really would appreciate it. We're getting close to 350 subscribers. We're getting a little closer. Once we get to 1,000, Gables and I maybe start make like 12 cents of ad revenue on this or something. That'd be nice. We keep doing this for like 50 years. Maybe we can get like I don't know, like a fucking large pop at McDonald's or something. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Yeah. I was kind of going on a ramble there, and I was like, I was gonna make a joke about the $5 meal at McDonald's, and I lost the plot. Uh, anyways, it's after 11 o'clock here. I'm very tired. I've been playing video games all day. It's been a rough day. All right. Anyways, though, let's get into this. So there was the Ubisoft Forward today. Before we jump into it, we're gonna go game by game here. Uh, Overall thoughts on the showcase, Gables.
Okay. The positive, it wasn't overblown. It was not long in the tooth or anything of that sort. It was a streamlined hour of content. That's
Yeah.
positive. That being said, there was maybe like one or two things in this entire thing that I did like. All the other stuff was just either products I did not really care about whatsoever, or in the case of the first game that they saw that we obviously will go into right here, it's like the more I saw, the less likely I wanted to play it.
Okay.
But Ubisoft Forward, I felt like it was definitely it was definitely much more positive than say what they did last year, but at the same time, I still feel like it was maybe average at best.
Yeah. And this has been a decade long thing for me with Ubisoft live shows. Is they are just bad at pacing things. Um,
Yes.
they are by far they just fucking prolong everything. To like it's just like we're filling time here. It's like you guys control the show. You can make this as short as long as you want. And it's just like
Hmm.
it's not. This was definitely, yeah. Like I think like you nailed it. like the positive thing was it was short. It was an hour. The grand scheme of
Mm.
things, it wasn't very long. Um, but I'm like, man, this still probably could have. You probably still could have shaved 20 minutes off of this thing, and
Yes.
it would have. I don't know how drastically it would have changed my like score when we get to the score part of this. But it definitely, hey, like if you take off, 30% of this thing, time wise, then that does something. But like, it's not even like showing less games, but it's just like they had the Star Wars. They showed off some Star Wars gameplay. Then they had someone come out and
Mm.
talk about Star Wars.
Yep.
And then they went back and they showed more Star Wars. And then there was like uh, they did this multiple times. They have like people come out, talk about it. They show like a little quick trailer, talk about it, go back, show more gameplay. I'm like, why are we doing this? Oh,
Fun fact, I decided to time the beginning portion of the Ubisoft forward, and there I'm talking about Star Wars Outlaws all the way until it ended, and it literally like took them like about 25, almost like a half hour to talk, just to show this one game.
oh wow, okay, yeah. I didn't time any. I did a live react to it. So if you want to watch me live react and at a certain point I broke. There was like I was trying to be like okay, like I'm trying to be nice. I'm like all right, you got a lot of stuff to show off here. And I say about 40 minutes in, I'm like what the fuck are we doing? Um, but yeah, like it. Yeah, I don't know. Like they used to like some of those man. There would be like 2+ hours, and like
Hmm.
they used to do that same shit a decade ago, and I'd ranted about it on this podcast like 2014, 2015. I would rant about this every fucking time because they would do that. They would show something, come out, talk about it, show some more. And stuff like it used to be like they'd sit on a couch and have a full
Yes.
fucking canned conversation about it. And I'm like, why? You show it, show a trailer, sit down, have a 15-minute interview about it, then show more. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, just show it to me once, or do a trailer and then break it down. I don't know. Anyways, um, I'm probably gonna rant more about that as we go here. But anyways, let's just jump into it. Let's start off here with Star Wars Outlaws. We got a good chunk of more gameplay, and then like we talked about, they had the person come out and talk for a few minutes, and then they showed off some more. They showed off a mission, showed off like some of the abilities you have, and kind of like overall kind of what the plot of the game is, of like all these different factions you can work for, and like as you do
Hmm.
things, like you can it can help and hurt your stance with these factions. You can be wanted, but by the Empire and stuff like that. I like I really liked what they showed. I really did. Um, like I'm liking I like cat uh was it Nyx is the name of the little creature?
Next is a little creature, yes.
Yeah, like he's adorable. I like him a lot. I do like I can't remember her name. The main character, I like a little bit what they've shown of her. Um,
Hmm.
but like now, like the gameplay looks really good. I like the stealth elements. I'm like, okay, like you could definitely feel the Ubisoft here, but I'm like, I feel like they're doing a really good job of incorporating Star Wars into it. And
Right.
I'm a sucker for like as much as I want to be out of the Star Wars game. I really do. But it's just like God damn man, the music plays, the sound effects, and it's like just pulls at the those like heartstrings of mine of like growing up being a big Star Wars fan. But I just man, I just like man, like there's something you're not showing me here. It's like I'm like there's some red flags here, and you're trying to hide them. It's like what's going on? Like what's going on over there? Why would you like open that closet door? What's in there? What
Right.
don't I want to find? It's like and I was reading so a bunch of people like were able to play, a lot of content creators and journalists were able to play the game over the weekend at Summer Game Fest, and I was reading a bunch of them. I read a few of them, and I listened to a few people talk about it, and I guess like they got to play like 3 missions, and people were like saying, "Hey, these are really good," but it was all like they like basically like you were already in. Like one of them was like a dogfight. I heard that like the dogfights was like really good. It's coming like there's like a stealth mission. There's like one more focus on combat, and they said, "Oh, it's really good. The gameplay is really good. Stealth is really good. Dogfighting is good." But they would like it didn't let you see the open world part of it, and that's the thing that
Mm.
I want to see. Like like I was talking about during the live react. Like there was and Gables knows there's a period there in like the mid 2000s, 2010s where I was like, I was buying everything Ubisoft made. I loved what Ubisoft was doing. Like I was there for it. Like with Assassin's
Right.
Creed, even like Watch Dogs. I really liked Watch Dogs. I thought Watch Dogs 1 was good. Watch Dogs 2 was fantastic. Like the Rayman games, fucking the Ubi Art games, all of that. I was buying everything they were putting out. Division, all that. And obviously, as the things have bloated, and it's like, it's like Origins, like finally was like kind of breaking me. Odyssey was fantastic, and then like I played like 15 hours of Valhalla, and I was like, I've barely scratched the surface. And I looked it up, and I'm like, I still have like legitimately 60 hours if I mainline this thing. I'm out. Um, and it's just like that feeling of that, like, just like, man, everything, they all kind of feel the same. And yeah, like they're just bloated. And we've seen, like, so Massive is making this game, the Division studio, but they put out the Avatar game, and that's like basically what everybody's like. It's just Far Cry with an Avatar skin. And I look at this, it's like, man, it's Star Wars, but I'm like, it's just Far Cry, but Star Wars, and like, like, part of me is like, well, maybe it's on different planets so that the areas will be smaller. But it's like, I just want to be really excited for this game. But if anybody else was making this, if it wasn't Ubisoft publishing this game, I think I would be like, this would be probably my most anticipated game of the year. But it's like, I know who they are, and they don't change. And like, I get it, because the these games sell. Like, there's a reason they keep making them like this. There's a reason they keep doing it this way. Is because they sell. Like, Assassin's Creed,
Mm-hmm.
since Origins, Assassin's Creed is bigger now than what it was pre-Origins, because of what they've done. And so I get why they do it. Far Cry is bigger now than what it was after, with Far Cry 3, and I get why they do it.
Right.
But it's like, man, I think someone like I think it's definitely like, it's a franchise that's or like, I think Ubisoft for the most part is just a studio where, like, I just can't touch them, because as much as, like, I think their games might be great to play, it's just like, I don't want to. It's one of those things where, like the more time I put into it, the more I'll start to, like, hate it, type of thing. Where, like, I'm gonna, like, 20 hours
Mm-hmm.
in, this is fantastic, and then, like, I'll be 50 hours in, I'm like, I'm so fucking done, but I'm so far in, I can't stop now. And then I'm like, but I'm still 30 hours away from the end. But yeah, I mean, Gables, what were you feeling about this one?
Okay. So the beginning portion of the game that they were showing here for Star Wars Outlaws, I mean, there's some aspects of it look fairly cool. The whole dogfights and stuff, like fighting against like the TIE fighters, stuff like that. Like some of the stealth elements seemed all right. But at the same time, the more they were showing, the more I was left with a feeling of, oh, is this it? Is this like, are you guys literally just showing me most of the stuff that I'm going to be doing throughout this entire game, like just ad nauseum and stuff? I mean, I kind of had similar feelings too. Like, there's something that's up here. It definitely gave me the feel of like, okay, this is like an average kind of Ubisoft game at its core. Them not showing people like certain like the world, not like just the worlds though, but like the different like, open world type of scale thing, like for the play testers, kind of concerns me because it just sounds like to me maybe it's sort of like a linear like clusters of like specific worlds and so the Star Wars universe, and then you go through and like search for certain things. Maybe it's the same base like type of missions or some on each planet, only like given like some other stuff like that. That's that's just something I'm taking a guess at because Ubisoft does have a track record of like having formulaic open world games. Whereas is like for example, it just doesn't matter whether it's Assassin's Creed, whether it's Tom Clancy's, like some of the like Ghost Recon, like Wildlands stuff, or like even with some of the Far Cry games, to where there are certain things that you do inside those games. You clear an outpost, you do this type of mission right here, or like you have to do another type of like the same mission a couple different times here. It's like those type of repetitious stuff is what artificially bloats the game,
Mm.
whereas those are something that is a requirement for you to complete first in order to continue on to a next story mission. While watching this footage, a lot of the stuff was interesting, going and doing the different like type of Star Wars based like missions and stuff. Like they look like they had like certain type of little arcade games that you could play or
Yep.
something based upon that looked kind of cool. But at the same time, I started getting less interested in playing the game only because the overall product itself, I just kind of felt like it was kind of like generic, like average at best. There's nothing that's really over the top that makes me, oh god, I gotta play this game now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god, it's like I look at this game and then I look at every other game that's being released by the end of this year or have released, and those games have my attention more than say Star Wars Outlaws, and that's because they have that type of gimmick that I really want to go for and invest myself into. Or if it's just something that, okay, it's something's completely different, I want to play that and stuff. Then I look at Star Wars Outlaws, I'm like, this may be a good game at its core. I mean, don't get me wrong, this could be like a surprise, like maybe hidden gem or something through this year. But at the same point, I was not left impressed with this game.
Yeah. No, no, I get that. Yeah, it's like, I kind of dealt with the last two Final Fantasy games with, like, Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16. It's like,
Mm.
Man, these games are
Yes.
like phenomenal, and with like if they were 10 hours shorter, 16 was like 10 hours shorter. It would have been my game of the year last year if
Right.
they really just tightened things up. Rebirth, I don't know, 15, 20 hours shorter. I put like almost 90 hours into it, and a lot of that is because I did all the side quests. But I'm like, man, they they hide so much good content, like story wise, in those side quests. That's like, well, I gotta do these fucking lame ass side missions to get to that stuff, and that's what I did there. And like you talk about, like I don't like. I feel like they like the formula of the Ubisoft games. I still think. I mean, it still works to this day. Like there's a reason why these games sell so well. People still
Right.
like that formula.
Yes.
But like you said, there's just so much of it. Like they don't know when to stop. And it's like I like
Hmm.
part of me gets excited. We'll talk about that later. But part of me gets excited about like Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like when you go up to climb a tower, you don't just like synchronize and all of a sudden 7,000 icons pop up. And it's like, okay, are the 7,000 icons still there? But like you just can't see them now, or like how's that gonna work? But we'll get into that more later. But that's kind of stuff I don't know. I want to know more about. Anyways, moving on here. X Defiant. This came out just a few weeks ago, but they're announcing that starting in the first season starts in July. There's gonna be they're gonna add a bunch of like new supplies, weapons, and there's a new capture the flag mode. And they said there'll be a new map added every month, starting July 2nd, and also a new I believe it's the Rainbow Six Siege team is joining the game. So
Okay.
yeah, then July. So just kind of a quick update for that. But I don't know, I'm kind of surprised. Like this game was like kind of taken off for, like really well. Like I think they've had like over 8 million players already play this game. So I was kind of surprised. Like it was just kind of like a almost like a 2 minute like ad break, almost like little trailer thing for this. That's all the like real time they put into it, and uh, instead of like like hey, this is like a big success. Like maybe we didn't have a lot prepared, but like I don't know, it's like I'll do a little bit more because like they've been like trying to. This is like something they've been trying to get is like trying to finally like they've had all these live service games come out that have just died as soon as they come out or like they last for a few months. Obviously like Siege and stuff, but like the last few years they've been like pushing all these out. They've been canceling a bunch. It's like man, you finally might actually have something here, and you like I don't know, like man, like fucking blow it up a little bit. Be proud of yourself with this one a little bit more instead of just kind of like here's 2 minute trailers, some stuff coming next month. All right, cool, bye. What about you, Gables?
Yeah. For X Defiant, yeah, it just didn't really impress me either. Unfortunately, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's just like a hyper competitive sort of like a shooter that Ubisoft wants to tout it as being the next big live service game that they got. But other than that, yeah, that's cool. They have the first season starting up and stuff. But
Yeah,
nah, it just didn't do it for me.
yeah. Just weird. Like the next thing here, Skull and Bones. This is like something they've been like putting out. They've been doing like free trials for multiple times, like free weekends, just to get people to like play this game. It's half off right now. I got an email yesterday from Ubisoft. They're like, hey, it's 50% off right now. Like they are trying to get people like heavily into this thing. And they spent like a solid like 5 minutes on it. Maybe not 5 minutes, but it felt like five. Um, but I mean, to their credit, like whatever you want to say about like Ubisoft games, they support the fuck out of these things. Like they have like they yeah like they do all these like crazy deluxe things and like add all these different things to it, like all these DLC. But they support their games for a long time, for better or worse. They do that, so like you gotta give them some props, I guess, for that. But I don't know. But like they've already announced like they have content for season 2 and 3. They're like adding like new enemy types, new like different uh like different boats. They have a bunch of different like they have the Hubok twins. They have the megalodon shark that will be there. They have like there's like a fucking like sea serpent or something that's gonna be there as well. Different bunch of like management tools. Like they're adding things to, like make it a little bit easier to like adding little things to make the, for better life, better service for the gamers out there. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I get why they're doing. This is like to me, this is what you should have done with X Defiant. It's like you have a hit here. Like even if you're saying the same thing, just like focus on a little bit more. Show people, that like like hey, like have a face there, talk about the stuff you're adding to it, rather than just like a trailer with words popping up on the screen. Like show it to people, throw it to people. Hey, like this is what we're doing. Instead, they did with Skull and Bones. So I don't know, really weird.
Well, that signifies to me if they're doing that big of discounts automatically and this game hasn't even been on a few months, that's just kind of a sign of desperation of getting people to play this game. That's from my personal viewpoint of it, but As for the showing of what it did, I mean, yeah, that's cool. I mean, they're willing to go forward and support this game longer than what some people may have expected, but yet you did touch upon Ubisoft does its best to support games for better or for worse, regardless of like what, or how long it could be until it properly ends.
Yeah,
But yeah, from the DLC stuff, it seems like it's a good sizable chunk that people will sink their teeth into. Those that actually did invest into like Skull and Bones at launch or pick it up at a discount or something. Like, man, 50% off already
yeah,
for some people. That's crazy.
yeah. But I mean, also 50% off right now is fucking the next game we're gonna talk about here, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. I've seen that for 25
That's
bucks
cool.
on Amazon and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, and
Mm.
that game just came out in January, so I mean, just about a few weeks before Skull and Bones came out. So I don't
Now
know.
you see that makes sense to me. I mean, hell, I even picked it up too for like about 30 or something from
Yeah.
Walmart like about a week ago.
Yeah, but both these games came out within like a few weeks of each other, and they're already both
True.
50% off. So I don't know. I mean, I know like Lost Crown hasn't sold super well, but part of that I think I wonder too is, um, and the only way to buy that game is either on the Epic Game Store or on the Ubisoft launcher. So, like
Hmm.
man, put that fucking thing on Steam. You know, um,
No shit.
like that. I think that thing would sell so much better, especially if you half off right now. Um, People would definitely be buying that. But they announced that there's going to be um, this is the 35th anniversary of Prince of Persia this year. I've lost ground. A lot of people's like game of the year so far. Um, they added a bunch of there's like I think it's a free content. I believe it's all out. Yeah, it's out today. They have new trials. They have a like a kind of like it looks like a boss rush mode. New combat challenges, puzzle challenges, more outfits, stuff like that. They're out today. And in September they're having their first expansion, the Mask of Darkness. So not too much on that. It's like the Mask of Darkness stuff. We kind of got like a little teaser for that. Just saying so. I'm saying September. I can't remember if there's an exact date other than the month. And then just real quick here, I'm just gonna run through the Prince of Persia stuff here, and then we'll backtrack Gables.
Yeah.
Rogue Prince of Persia that came out early access a couple weeks ago. It was funnily enough, it was supposed to come out like a few weeks earlier, but like the day they were putting it out, Hades 2 early access shadow dropped. So they actually put it like to their credit, they put a statement out. I was like, hey, for obvious reasons, we're gonna delay our early access game, roguelite game, a few weeks. So because like they're easily going to get shadow overthrown by Hades too. So they said that there's a Temple of Fire update with adding it's all free and stuff like that. That should be out today as well, like a new biome and more weapons, stuff like that, out today. And then last but not least, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. We just got to go a CGI trailer saying 2026 is the release year for it. So that's the three things we got here for the 35th anniversary of Prince of Persia: Gables. I mean, I don't know, 35th anniversary is kind of like a weird thing where I really don't feel like it
Yeah.
was like a thing people celebrated until like Nintendo started doing it.
Yep.
So they must feel like they had something, and I guess they do have at least a few things. So it's like you can just say, hey, that this is like, it's like, it's the year of Luigi. It's the year of Shadow because we have like two or three things that involve these characters. So I guess they can. I mean, especially after like what 15 years of ignoring this franchise. I guess fair enough to celebrate it. But I mean, overall, Gables, what was your thoughts on this Prince of Persia section?
Okay, I thought it was funny that they end with like Sands of Time and stuff, the game that was subsequently almost completed before they pulled it and then scrapped it and redid a bunch of
Twice.
things, and now it's not twice because conflicts and stuff with the quality of it, and now it's gonna be out by 2026.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah.
Oh,
It is funny that game. So that game was revealed this week 4 years ago, Sands of
yeah,
Time, and it was like it was the blowout for that thing. And hey, it's coming. I
yes, it
think it was
was.
like January, February 2021, and here we are, exactly 4 years later, and we're getting a CGI trailer for that game with a 2026 release window. So, um,
Yep.
yeah,
I mean, that's pretty funny, but backing up beforehand stuff, the most positive stuff. I mean, Lost Crown getting free DLC like trial stuff and stuff, that's awesome. But a story-based DLC come September, yeah, that game is every bit worth it. And that's one of the few positives I felt like throughout this whole conference. Prince of Persia, Lost Crown, the success that it has been, even though like the sales haven't like dictated as much as maybe Ubisoft would have wanted to, it's still a fantastic game. Still having like it's having like good solid like chunks of it that's going to be fun to play through and stuff come this autumn. But The Rogue Prince of Persia, yeah, that's the game, the other Prince of Persia game that I've been interested in, wanting to try to delve into because the
Yeah,
look of it, it's an indie style of Prince of Persia game,
yeah.
right? But Fire Temple stuff, that's nice. I'm kind of waiting to see like until that thing actually gets full on, like gets out of like the whole early access
1.0.
stuff. Yeah, the 1.0 and stuff. That's basically what why I generally wait until games like get out of the early access stuff and go to the 1.0 stuff. Because if I played early access stuff, I mean, there's going to be plenty of things that's going to change from then all the way up to the initial release. Like, if there's something that's I'm liking inside the early access thing that they take out of and it makes me hate the game more, I mean,
Yeah,
that's kind of a disservice. But yeah, I like the 2 out of 3 at least.
yeah, yeah. Like I think that Rogue Prince of Persia, I love the art style and like the just like the way like the character animations when he's like running and like I love all that. I'm the same way. I'm gonna wait for like 1.0. Like Prince of Persia Lost Crown is like, man, that game looks fantastic. I just know like I'll play games like they're out of like my wheelhouse, but like I know I heard that game was like 25, 30 hours. I'm like, I don't know if I want to play that big of a game out of my wheelhouse, like that long of a game. But if it was like I beat like Tales of Kazera Zao last month, and it was like that game was like not even 10 hours. I'm like, okay, I'm willing to, I'm willing. And that was it was a really good, it was a great game. So I was like, I'm willing to, I'm willing to invest that time, especially if you can hook me. But like, I
Mhm.
can't imagine a 30-hour game that's not my wheelhouse. And plus, I heard it's very hard. So um,
Hmm.
yeah, but I don't know. I thought a pretty solid showing for like if you're gonna like, hey, it's the 35th anniversary, we're gonna do something like it's something I guess like, hey, Sands of Time is like the big thing we have, so like just we'll just say, hey, yeah, 2026, here we go, happy 35th 35 years to this game. Um, Next up here, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Got a little bit of information on it. There is a expansion. The first story pack is the Skybreaker is dropping on July 16th. I don't know. It's like I talked about earlier. It's like I've heard people like it reviewed okay. I think it was like a 77 on like Open Critic
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's just one like it's unfortunate. Like it is like that is Avatar is a massive IP and like you actually got like a pretty good like really I would say a big deal of a game to come out for this. I think
Yeah.
honestly just coming out like early December uh, just killed that game.
Yeah.
Even though it's Avatar, I get it, but it's like the how many like most games like I really can't think of like Far Cry 3 and like Smash Brothers. I can't remember if it was Smash Brothers Ultimate. I think it was Ultimate. They both came out in December, but it was like Far Cry 3.
Yes.
Like I feel like that the talk of that game grew over time rather than it
Yes.
wasn't a huge success at launch. And then Smash Brothers is Smash Brothers. It's you can put that out. You can put that out any fucking day. You can make up a day and put it out on that day and it'll still do well. Like so even though yeah, it's Avatar, it's a big deal, but it's like this is like the first thing of a franchise, and just missing like it says a lot about like we talk about like physical like our like physical games are dying, but I do think that like having that game out before the holiday, like before Thanksgiving and Black Friday, like I think that does still matter to people. And I wonder like still even in this day and age, like yeah, like December, like we talk about, you can put out a big AAA game in July now because remember like there was that time there, Gables, when we first started doing this podcast, like we were it was like towards the end of that time where like in the first couple summers of doing this podcast, like 2013, 2014, the summer
Hmm.
fucking sucked after E3. It was like there's
Yep.
no game, there's very few games to play. You maybe get a handful of like cool indie games, and there was like no stories. And now it's like it's just the news cycle is year round. Almost every day there's something pretty much big going on, and you can put out a huge game in fucking July, and it will sell well. I feel like Batman Arkham,
Yeah.
Arkham not City, not Origins, Knight, Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Uh, that was like
Maybe.
that came out like June or July. I think it was like July, and it was a massive success. I think it was like 2015. I was like, I feel like I don't know maybe that if it was the Kettles, but it felt like it. Where I was like, oh, we can put out a game whenever we want. But I think maybe December maybe is just like, no, that's still a no go for at least a major game. We're just not gonna put anything out big there because it's gonna just kind
I
of
do agree with you on that front because it's like when it comes to December, I mean, people are already have wrapped up the year and stuff once at the end of November rolls around. So that whole month of December and stuff, I mean, that's a dead zone for game releases normally,
yeah.
unless you are a heavy property that heavy like licensed property or something like that that has a lot of credence and stuff. With unfortunately, Avatar is even though it's a big like movie franchise and stuff by James Cameron and stuff, the game in and of itself, it was kind of met sort of lukewarm upon its actual reaction, on its actual reveal and stuff, and then like not a lot of people gave it credence when it released anyway. The fact that it did release with like good scores and stuff like that, and people did enjoy it, I think that's excellent. That's definitely something that can hold credence and stuff. But yeah, this game should have been pushed out into the first part of that next year and stuff,
Yeah.
because that would have made it better commercially, especially since they could have maybe had some of the story elements that they're presenting now inside that game.
Yeah. Well, I think it was part of the deal they had with the movie studio where it had to come out last
Right.
year, and they wanted to come out closer to the movie, and I think it came out a few months after the movie. So
Yeah.
that's probably why. Like from everything I heard, the two that game was coming out like very hot. So it was like they were like working on it up to like right when the release came out, and
Oh boy.
also it came out like I think it came out the week of the Game Awards. So like the reviews
Yes.
dropped, and like it does that shit does still matter. Like reviews getting dropped, like or like we talked about last year, where it was like it felt like very few games, like all like we're getting massive games coming out. Like, it almost felt like every couple weeks we have a giant, huge AAA game come out, and it would immediately get overshadowed by the next big game.
Yes.
And it was very rare for like a game to actually have like its moment in the sun. It's like Armored Core came out, and like Starfield came out, but it came out like right around like Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and that just no one like I shouldn't say nobody, but like it was just overtaken by Baldur's Gate 3. Like two of the biggest games of last year, Starfield and Armored Core, and it was just like no, Baldur's Gate 3 is the hot thing right now. And it like just blew it out of the water, you know. So we just we've seen over and over again like uh, that shit, you know, like news coverage, all that shit still does matter, you know, in 2020, you know,
Yes.
in 2023, 2024. So, but I'm not trying to shit the game. I know it was overly a very negative discussion we had on this, but yeah, like it does suck because we've seen like these big like IPs outside the video game world finally in the last like 6-7 years take off, and oh, it kind of sucks for Avatar to like yeah, maybe not get its moment in the sun there. Next up here, Crew Motorfest. Year two begins in November 2024. They're adding a new island, some new vehicles, new playlists, stuff like that. They show like some like a different crew, I guess. I don't know. I'm not we are not crew people.
Nah.
And I feel like that's kind of like honestly something you could just keep saying over and over again about this press conference. It's just like if you're just not into like these games or like you're not in that audience, there's just like a lot of shit here that's just not for you.
I will say this though, and this is what surprised the hell out of me when I watched it inside that sizzle reel of like all these games and some that are coming out with their year this and stuff like that, season one or season two or blah 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 and so on and so forth. I was actually rather surprised that For Honor is still a fucking
Year
thing.
8, Gables.
Year 8, season 2.
It's older than the Switch.
It's older than, yeah, exactly. It's older than the Nintendo Switch. It was on the PS4 and Xbox One. These things, it was like near early when that game released on those systems. And here it is. Here it is still.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was like what, 2015, 2016 at least?
Yeah, I think it was
For
15 or
Honor?
16. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, it's like, who are the people that are still playing this game?
Yeah, good for them. Good for like that's what I mean. Like for better or
Oh
worse,
my
Ubisoft
gosh.
will continue to support their games if there's still a good audience there. Like I mean, Siege is like in like year I think it was like 2014 or 15 that game came out, and it's still getting support to it. So and like it still regularly shows up in like the Circana reports every month.
Yeah.
So
And the funniest part about it is like I've watched streamers like played For Honor and stuff, and systematically, like not even after like a couple of years or something, they're all automatically just like switched on to another game or something
yeah,
like that because you can only play that game for so long before everything just becomes monotonous because it's supposed to be like a hardcore fighting game, but
yeah.
still,
It's even
rant aside.
yeah. It's just weird because even like that game felt like when it came out, it was just like it just like felt like nobody played that game, but it
Yep.
eventually kind of found an audience, and it's just kind of crazy that still going. I mean, good for them. Good for the audience. Good for them. Good for Ubisoft, I guess. Like, there's a lot of reasons, easy reasons to shit on Ubisoft, but I will say good for them for like supporting those people because
Right.
I would love to know like the actual audience size of those things. Like it's still got to be at least you know I'm assuming at least six figures you know worth of people still playing those things regularly. So
Mm.
yeah, good for them for you know doing all that. But Anno 117 Pax Romana was revealed. There was like a trailer where the guy was like just doing a speech in the middle of nowhere over and over again.
Mm.
Um, Apparently, this was a reveal of a new game. I know of the Anno franchise. I just assumed it was like another like games of service type thing that they were like just talking about. And
Yeah.
then people come out and talk about it. Gables, if you don't know what Anno is, do you know what Anno is? Do you
No,
know what
not
this?
really.
Do you know what this? What type of game this is? After this,
Is
after
it
this reveal.
no?
Yeah, exactly. I know what Anno is. I have a vague idea of what it is. I did look it up like afterwards. I'm like, oh, so it's kind of like a Civ type game, I guess. Essentially, I was like, I thought maybe it was like an RTS or something. Yeah. So this is a new game that they revealed, and
Uh-huh.
you would have no idea what the fuck this game is. Like if you just
I thought it was a continuation from the last Anno game that came out.
yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yes, it's baffling, baffling. You would say good on Ubisoft, and when there's like then we get shit like this, like what the fuck are we doing? Um, Yeah. Also, they announced a new Monopoly game come out in September.
well.
I think it's PC only. The thing I'm looking at here only says PC. So oh boy,
Okay, okay.
goddamn. Yeah. So yeah, we just kind of we can go through some of these here. For Honor we talked about. Yeah, new season starts on the
Mm-hmm.
13th. New battle pass stuff like that, bunch of rewards stuff like that. Good for them. Good for those people. And then last but not least here, Gables, we got the Assassin's Creed. We got like a full like about almost like 20 minutes worth of gameplay here.
Yeah.
Um, I was talking about yesterday when we did the Xbox like review and breakdown. We watched like the live. We did the live rack for the Xbox showcase. I'm like, we got gameplay for that. And I thought it was funny they kept saying gameplay reveal coming soon. Like every time they would get to like the lesser important shit, they would pop it up. It's like, please don't leave, please stay, like don't leave. I swear we're gonna have the gameplay reveal. But it's like, bitch, you did the gameplay reveal yesterday at the Xbox event. Like I saw that. I know that happened. Very weird they kept doing that. But anyways, we got finally got the full like deep dive. Uh,
Mm.
um, oh, Jesus, you know what? I fucking made a point to like memorize the names of the characters. Like I was terrible at the pronunciation of them. And it's already gone. It's gone. Noe, Nua, Azuka, and Noah. Nue. Anyway, it's gone. We got like a whole section of like it shows like you playing as the samurai, and I'm just gonna call him the
Mm-hmm.
samurai and the assassin. That's gonna work for the rest of the time here. But we got like a huge section, like I saw like 10-minute section of like showing like how you do things as the samurai. Then they're like probably 10-minute section or so, give or take, showing how you.
Mm-hmm.
Why is my fucking Alexa lighting up? Alexa, shut up. And then we got like a 10-minute thing of like showing up of like you being the assassin. And man, this game I don't remember like Assassin's Creed being so. Like, Assassin's Creed has like never been shy away from like having some like a little bit of
Yes.
gore and stuff like that. But my god, he had that giant like freaking like almost like a cricket bat or something with nails on it, and
It's a big old mace.
yeah, and just murdering people with it. Literally, just like he like hit a guy right in the fucking head with it. And I took his head off. Like this game is brutal, and like some of the combat,
Mm-hmm.
like the way they go flying, the way like the bodies go was like it was incredible. Like I really love the assassins part where going through and like just like the way like she just moves around so quickly and climbing up the wall and like taking out the light, just like the things you know about, but like they just kind of like fine tuning it more and more. I really like that
Yes.
area. But I mean, I was really blown away by like the samurai, like the more the combat part of it. Like I thought that looked really really good. Like it's not like I'd say it's closer to like what we like playing Ghost of Tsushima, than like kind of what we like the more the Witcher style it felt like, whereas like kind of more of a standoffish a little bit. I really like that. Oh, going back to Star Wars, they kept teasing like some Red Dead like Mexican standoff shit. And that was fucking awesome. Like, why didn't you show me more of that? Why is that like in the fucking montage part? Anyways, back to Assassin's Creed. I had to go back to that. I just thought of that. But man, it's like I was saying yesterday, Gables is like I just don't want. I want to be out. I want to just say I don't care. It's like Star Wars. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to say I don't care anymore. And then they show me this shit, and it looks fucking amazing. What about you, Gables?
Yes, a lot of that action was rather smooth, wasn't it? And it did give me some inklings of Ghost of Tsushima. And I think this is actually a benefit, though, because with observing how well Ghost of Tsushima did, and in terms of how the combat flowed inside of that game, and then watching Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay, you have two different styles, obviously. It kind of symbolizes light and dark between the samurai and the ninja. Both are like, have their own set of like honor or maybe lack thereof or something like that. Both of them have different like combat styles. So for the samurai, I mean, the different type of styles, like you can parry attacks, you can go and just outright just waste like a lot of the different enemies, especially with that mace with the spikes. I mean,
Mm,
yeah, that's brutal. That's something I don't see unless it's like a FromSoft game generally, because just the articulate detail in terms of not even the assassination and stuff like that for say the ninja, for example, how she assassinated that one that I think one of the leaders or something like that inside that camp at night. It actually was rather realistic and stuff. It's like you wouldn't go like say for the guy's back first or something like that. No, she had to make sure that she sliced the tendon in the back of the guy's foot and
yeah.
then go for the neck, like go for the head blow and stuff right after. So they're definitely paying attention to certain detail stuff from the way some of the combat styles for each character supplies, because with like the samurai he's more of like a direct approach type of attacker, to where he'll use like weapons like a sword or like a mace or something like that, and kind of wait for his opponent to go forth and like just strike, kind of like how similar Assassin's Creed's would be, right? To where you just basically are waiting for the opponent to attack and then just parry that or block that and then do your attack and stuff.
Mm,
It kind of symbolized to me that the samurai is more of a kind of traditional sort of style of like Assassin's Creed with some added elements to it, whereas with the ninja, it's more of like an evolution of like the stealth elements of say like some of the past like assassins and stuff. But I will say the combat looked incredibly smooth. I mean, I was really impressed with that. The look of the surroundings inside of each location that we got to see, like inside the middle of town, like everything's all hustling and bustling. The kind of the weird kind of Ubisoft in like NPCs or something like that. Like you see this one kid like step in front of the samurai and stuff. This kid is glazed over, look like
yeah.
I noticed these little details and stuff because they're in every single Ubisoft game to where they have that type of jank. Even if it's like just slight, you'll see some bits of that stuff, and it's so funny to point out. But even with little elements of like little bit of jankiness here or there, maybe like apparent like stuttering stuff here or there and stuff, what I saw was interesting enough combat to where I want to delve in. I want to play it. The story elements and the characters themselves are interesting enough to where I feel like I want to at least give it a shot. If it's like I say, as long as the other Assassin's Creed game, like Assassin's Creed Mirage from like what was it, last year or something like that,
Yeah.
then I would, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely up my alley. Like
It
a
is not
20,
that
30
though.
hour. I know. If it's like say a 50-hour game, I mean, I understand that too, but
yeah.
yeah, it did look pretty fun from what I saw.
Yeah. I would kill if it was 50 hours. I'd love that. I don't think it's. I think it's gonna be closer to like Valhalla than it is at Mirage. Unfortunately, in that closer to the 80 than the 20. But like you mentioned. The combat looked really smooth. There was definitely that junk. They did have like the work in progress in the top part of it. So, um, but there was one point though, like they actually showed the map, and I was like, zoom out. Like I want to see how big this thing gets. They didn't do it. They showed like a little section. I'm like, damn, I want like that. And it's kind of like it's the same thing with Star Wars, like same kind. I'm not going to rant again, but like this would be like a day one buy. I'll definitely this would be like like I think Star Wars Outlaws and this would be like two of my like Life is Strange is like my most anticipated game the rest of the year now. But like this would be like 2 and 3 if it wasn't Ubisoft making these things. Because everything else I saw about it I love, but it's just like I know who you are, you know, I know what you are, and it's like for that I'm probably out. But they really did a big I think a good job too in here. They kept pushing like the Ubisoft Plus thing they have. They have like they've it's been on PC. I think it came to Xbox last year, but it's kind of like their own version of Game Pass where I think it's like $18-20 a month, where basically you can like it's all the other games come day one on Ubisoft Plus,
Right.
and you can play all the games in there. And they did make a point to say, hey, Ubisoft Plus, you can play Assassin's Creed Shadows 3 days early on November 12th instead of November 15th. If you get the Ubisoft Plus or Ubisoft Club, I can't remember exactly what it's called. Which that's something I think if I might do, like, because it's on Xbox, I'm not gonna play these things on my PC. My PC's not powerful for these. Um, but
Oh no. Oh heavens no.
no,
I'm not gonna play this on PC.
no, it would
They are very
it would
demanding. I'd rather play on a console.
yeah, our PCs would melt. But I don't know, I might give. it's like these games a shot because of that. Like, it's $20, instead of paying dropping 70, yeah, $20, try it out, and I'm like, I can live with that. I play it for 7 8 hours. It's gonna be easier for me to like dip rather than like why just invest the 70 hour or $70 into this. I have to play it now, and then like kind of fight my way through 80 hours. So I might check it out more so for that. But like there is like I think of like the Avowed date leaked yesterday, November
Mm-hmm.
12th, and it's like it's the same week. I think like I'm more excited for Avowed, believe it or not. Like I'm like I have more faith that I'll like Avowed than Assassin's Creed, rather. And then like there's like I don't know, like it's kind of weird. Like they're like GameStop tweeted out, and they still haven't taken the tweets down yet, as far as I know.
Yeah,
For November 17th being the date for the Snake Eater remake. But that is a Sunday, so it's like, all right, what's going on there? So, like definitely like wait, like we're in a wait and see moment right now. But like if Snake Eater comes out, that takes priority over everything, other than maybe Life is Strange.
absolutely.
Except Life is Strange. Life is Strange takes a priority over everything else, and then there's Snake Eater. So yeah, but I like a lot what they showed here, but it's just like man, I know what they're not showing me, and that's the thing I'm concerned about. But I mean, Gables overall though, like 1 out of 10, what would you give it?
Okay, so out of 10, I probably would give it. Yeah, I would probably give it like an average score of like a 6. I want to say because there were elements I did like, and that was mostly Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay, and then the Prince of Persia stuff, barring the whole delaying of Sands of Time. So that's good enough to where I give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I say 6 out of 10. I think it's really just like it's one of those things where like they had two big games to show, and it's like that's what we're gonna show you. There's gonna be nothing else really. It's a lot of updates because we have a million games of service things out there that we're still working on. Um, but yeah, like it's still not like good enough. Like even though yeah, it was like just under an hour, still not a good enough reason. Like you didn't have to do this. I would say like kind of what we're doing with like Dragon Age tomorrow or today as of this coming out. Like we're getting like the 15-minute Dragon Age breakdown tomorrow, and then like we're getting Metal Gear Solid stuff. We're getting like Life is Strange. Like we're doing these things like on the like we're announcing it here, and then we're gonna do like the big breakdown thing separately in its own thing. And it's like I feel like you could have just done that with Star Wars and Assassin's Creed this week instead. Like gave it its own platform to do that instead. But I get the idea of it. Like hey, we have all these other things that are smaller that like we're gonna make you. It's like every other press conference or state of play, whatever you want, direct, whatever you want to call it. Like you're here for the big shit, but we're gonna show you the small stuff too, to like because we're like that'll get to the eyeballs on it. So I get why they do it. But man, it's like it's like it's one of those things where like if you're not already invested in those things, I don't know how many people are gonna jump into them. But I get like hey, you gotta do what you can. You got a million games of service things out there right now. Get as many
Yeah.
eyeballs as you can. There was a game in there. It was like a marble game, like Battle Core Arena or something like that. That game came out like three
Huh.
days ago. Gables, I never heard of it.
Neither have I.
Yeah, it was like
That's new to
it's
me.
like a marbles battling game or something. I don't fucking know. Um, but yeah, yeah, I'm with you though. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10 as well. But I think that's gonna do it for this time around. Yeah, if you guys like all that, like all the game coverage stuff we've been doing the last few days, thank you so much for checking it out. We've done multiple live reacts. We've done I think 3 podcasts now this week too. I am playing
Yes.
through Super Mario Galaxy. Probably gonna do it on Tuesday night. I'm gonna jump back. I already did part one. I'm gonna jump in. I'll jump in Tuesday night and play it. Do some more. I'll be live on the YouTube channel. So good reason if you're listening to the podcast version or if you're just catching us on here, subscribe, click the bell so that way when I click the bell, you'll know when I go live. So you want to go there,
Hmm.
support us, check us all out, hit that thumbs up button. Really appreciate if you do all that. Leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of the show as well. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us. I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. So until next time, everyone, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk-Nerds podcast.
Hey Gables,
Yeah,
too sweet.
too sweet, man.
Bye guys.
See ya.